This area over here we call the pollinator garden, and I'll flip you around so you can see a little better. So this pollinator garden is at Eagle Peak, and it consists of a lot of native plants, meaning they grow naturally in Mendocino County or California. The non-native plants we selected were selected because they have really good flowers for pollinators. Pollinators come and visit these flowers, and it gives them energy because they eat the nectar of the flower, and they also pass around pollen. Now, why would we want pollinators to be visiting our gardens? Well, to have pollinators in the area helps native plants in the forest around Mendocino County create seed, which creates more plants, and it also helps agriculture. People who grow our food. A lot of our food without insects would not produce fruit, and fruit is the part we typically eat. Um, Also, a lot of these insects rely on these plants to make it through their migration. So why do pollinators visit flowers? Well, a lot of pollinators visit flowers to collect nectar, which provides energy for the pollinator and its young. Nectar is food for these pollinators. So let's look at flower parts for a minute. So you see here we have the anther. That's the part that has the pollen on it. And the stigma, it's sticky, and that's the part that the pollen sticks on. So when an insect visits a flower and it goes for the nectar, it oftentimes rubs on the anther. It gets pollen on its body parts, and then when it goes to another flower or sometimes the same flower on a different plant, it'll brush the pollen onto that stigma and it sticks to it. And that's how the plant absorbs the pollen and it creates fruits and seeds that way. It's the reproduction of a plant. It's how a plant continues its life cycle. So let's meet our pollinators. First, we have bees. Bees collect nectar, but they also collect pollen. They feed the pollen to their larvae. That's their young. Hummingbirds are great pollinators. They have long tongues and long beaks for that. Butterflies, skippers, and even moths often visit flowers to collect nectar, and they pass pollen from flower to flower. Wasps are pollinators. Flies are pollinators. You can often find beetles inside flowers. And even bats. Bats often pollinate at night. They're really active in the desert and pollinate cactus flowers. The wind pollinates grasses, tomato plants, and even grapes. How have flowers adapted or changed to attract pollinators? Some flowers have changed their shape. Some flowers have scent or smell. And some flowers just use their color to attract pollinators. So let's look at the hummingbird for a minute. It has really long tongue, so it's attracted to tubular flowers. It also likes red flowers. It also needs flowers that hold lots of nectar, that sugary water. And so it has very specific needs when it comes to flowers. So in this next video, we have a squash flower. And if we look closely, we can see a little bee down in there. That bee is getting the nectar at the bottom of the flower. And you can see the center of the flower, there's the stigma there, the sticky part. So as the bee passes by that sticky part, it rubs pollen on it right there. And that's how that flower gets pollinated. Bees are also attracted to yellow, blue, and white flowers. So what kind of flowers do bats pollinate? Well, if you've ever eaten a mango, you might be interested to know that the flowers in the mango were probably pollinated by a bat species. Bats like flowers that are open at nighttime, and they are often attracted to white flowers. I really hope you learned something about pollinators and flowers today. Now you should go outside and look, see what you can find. Go find some flowers, look at them. It might take a minute, but stay still and a pollinator will soon visit.